Alright, game 6. I'm currently up 3-2. We are playing to 9, so we still got quite a bit of a way to go. Alright, so take a look at this board. We have tunnel. My first thing I look at anytime tunnel is on the board is whether there's any discard. In is available. I've had bad luck with in and tunnel recently, but it's a pretty strong combo. Certainly want to consider the governors on the board. Anytime governor is around, the games can get very short, very quick. There's no trashing, though, so that's one of the things that really makes a governor game go lightning fast. Certainly the correct opening move here is a silver. I don't want a tunnel or Menagerie to start with by any means, so that's a pretty easy call. Workers Village is also going to be a poor opening here, so I think Monument is the way to go, just as he does. So I got 5 to spend here. He goes for governor. Any circumstance where one person starts going for governor, I think it's a really bad idea to let them be the only one, so I think I gotta follow suit. You got a much better draw right there. I only have 3 to spend here. I really want to try and avoid clogging my deck up too much, but on the other hand, getting up to 6 is still very high priority for the short term. I want to be able to go for grand markets, potentially goons. I think a goons engine is probably not really the way to go here, just because governor can replenish hands very quickly and the game will probably go fast enough that it's not a big deal. So I do have 7 to spend here. I can purchase a goons if I want. I could drop down and still buy a governor. Goons is... Oh, yes, of course. Goons is obviously very nice in a game with governor just because it compensates for giving cards to your opponent. So, yeah, that's certainly a good argument I just made for myself there. Okay, so... he's well ahead of me in this governor race, though, which is very troubling. That's a recipe for disaster for me there. I don't really want any more silver. On the other hand, these other $3 options are really not good. It's particularly unfortunate. Okay, I think I need to go for a Menagerie just for the sake of having a cantrip in my hand. There's some chance that it'll trigger, and if he does end up getting a goons, having Menagerie is a very nice counter. I have my 2 terminals in the hand at the same time, which is super annoying, and I'm going to miss all of them. So one thing I'll certainly consider is, as soon as this hand is gone, I might buy an in as a way to get them all back into my deck. I think the move here is to play governor, draw cards, then play the goons, just because, as I've been saying, the $3 cards are really not helpful. So getting myself up a little bit is a pretty high priority. That knocks him back down to 3. Definitely purchase another governor here. Okay, like I said, I want to buy an in at this point in order to grab all those cards, put them right back in my hand. I can afford to have 2 terminals because I'll have the Village of the Inn. Alright, so he's going to hit me with the goons. That's going to be pretty annoying, given that I have all these good cards in my hand. Wow, he did not get to his goons, so that's super good for me. Got to add several cards to my hand. I will add quite a few more as I play my governors into him, and then I'll hit him with the goons. Take a look at this. He'll be up 1 point from that monument play. Okay, so I have just too many cards to turn that Menagerie into a super lab. So I could play the in to discard a couple of these cards, but not quite there. So I'll play the governor to draw some more. 2 plus buys here, so I want to start thinking about endgame possibilities. I could play all those coppers, but frankly, I don't want to go green quite yet, so that wouldn't even be really that helpful. I could get 2 grand markets here, and that would really enable me to start going after a bunch more grand markets. Another Goons would certainly be nice, but if I do that, that means I need to invest in some more villages as well. Getting more governors would also obviously be good, but I think the move here is to get a couple grand markets, get myself some more plus buys, so that next time I get a monster hand like this, I can use all these coppers and then buy a bunch more low-level cards to kind of fill out my deck for the long term. Any circumstance where I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to use a Goons after using the governor for a draw, I'm not enthusiastic about using it for the plus draw. On the other hand, these 3-cost cards are just not going to be very helpful to me, so I think it's worth it to take the risk. Yeah, so I don't hit it. I gave him basically a lab effect, which is certainly not ideal, but it's not the absolute worst. So I think here what I want to do is get myself another governor and then possibly a workers village. I don't need it immediately, but having it available so I can purchase another Goons and play a double Goons sort of draw would be super nice. So I think that's the way to go. Get myself another governor and workers village. Okay, so he got himself a province. I want to think a little bit about where that means the game is going. I don't think we're quite that close. It'll be at least another couple turns before the game ends. I could get rid of one of these silvers and get myself another 4-cost card. I can get rid of this inn and grab another Goons. I think that might be the way to go, because I do have plus actions from other places, and I really do want to get the double Goons so I can get some high value purchases. So the other option is I could just trash copper and clean out my deck a little bit, but I think the way to go is into Goons. So I've got 12 to spend here. I think I'm pretty sure the proper move is to get those last 2 governors. That doesn't put the game particularly close to any kind of 3-pile ending, and it gives me a massive draw, double Goons possibilities. I don't want to purchase an estate, so finish it up. So he uses his Menagerie there as a super lab because of my Goons. I will definitely do the same thing. If he hits me with the Goons, I'll just collapse down to Menagerie, Governor, and Goons. Frankly, all these other cards here are just not that important. I don't really care if I lose access to them, because what I really need to do is just have my drawing cards and my Goons all end up together. So I can trash a card if I want. I think getting myself another village is a reasonable priority, so I might just trash a silver and grab a workers village. So he's at 2 provinces now, and he's trashed. He's at 3 provinces, but he's trashed all of his gold in order to get there. So that's pretty good for me. Okay, I can get rid of a copper. I'm not super worried about that. One thing I can do is I can trash an estate into a tunnel. That'll get me 1 more victory point than it would otherwise be worth, and it'll slightly improve the power of my menageries, give me another distinct card in the deck. these cards I do not care about. Alright, so if he purchases a province here, he's at 4, which means I pretty much need this turn to that's not true. He can't use his governors to turn gold into provinces anymore. So his ability to close out the game in one sort of final swoop is a lot less than it might otherwise be. Alright, so I got the Workers' Village. I'm going to be able to play double Goons here. I'm not going to be able to play the Monument, but that's alright. It'd be nice if I could, but it's not a catastrophe. I played 1, 2, 3. So in my discard pile right now is just those cards I got rid of. So I've got 16 to spend. If I think I have a decent chance of consistently being able to play double Goons, it's not important to me to purchase provinces yet. It's more important to maximize the victory point gain that I'm going to get from this hand. So I wanted to do something like purchase a bunch of Workers' Villages here, maybe some Menageries. I think I might just go 4 Workers' Villages. That'll give me 8 victory points. It'll guarantee that I can make the double Goons work pretty well. I could also get 2 Workers' Villages, a Menagerie, and an inn, and then, yeah, that's the way to go. I'll purchase the inn last and reshuffle those Workers' Villages and Menageries into my deck. Alright, so the inn is not a high priority. Just give myself 2 governors and a Workers' Village. That's huge for him right there. Alright, so I want to discard a governor because my Menagerie will effectively work like a governor in terms of the draw, and it'll mean I haven't wasted the governor and I can use it later as I go back through my pile here. Alright, so we're dangerously close to 3-pile ending for the game. And he's got a 15-point lead. And I did not really hit much of anything. That's a rough hand for me. I do have a very good hand probably coming up as I have many governors ready to go in there, but certainly could have gone better there. I think it's worth it at this point to get a province. He's not really in the circumstances to be able to end the game on provinces anymore, so picking up one of those is not going to do a whole lot of damage to me. I don't want to help contribute to running out the piles at this point by any means. Could use some of these plus buys to get coppers. Don't think it's worth it though. It would only be 4 more victory points, and I don't want to clog up my deck too much yet. There's a decent chance I won't ever shuffle again. If his next turn goes pretty well, he'll be able to finish the game in 2 turns, and so it might just be a matter of seeing my whole deck in this next turn and hoping that I can use that to finish out the game. So. He's using these menageries to a very good effect. I really should have thought about investing more in them because he's getting a lot of mileage out of them. Alright. I certainly want to get rid of those. I think I need to get rid of the Grand Market, unfortunately. The draw is just really the crucial thing here, so getting those extra 2 cards for the Governor is probably essential. He's only able to play 1 Goons there, which is definitely good for me. He's up by 9. No, sorry, 11. Yes, okay, he's up by 11. There's 7 cards needed to run things out, so that's actually still 2 turns worth of play, probably. I don't think either of us can quite end the game in those circumstances. I'm going to think about playing my Governor to grab a gold here, and then use the Menagerie for the plus draw. Quite a bit of money here. I could get 2 provinces if I want. That would put me ahead. I don't think he's really in circumstance to grab 2 provinces. Well, he does have a gold, which he could use the remodel effect to grab 1 of them and then buy a second one. So it's a bit risky if I want to try and go after those the 2 provinces and give him a chance to close out the game. I'm only going to get 1 victory point per buy. I have 6 buys. Don't want to purchase Grand Markets at this point. Don't think. Well, let's gamble. I'm not 100% sure this is the right move, but it puts me back in the lead. It sort of forces him to make it happen on the last turn, or there's a very good chance that I'll be able to end the game on my turn. So now I definitely want to think about, so I'm up by 4 right now. It might be worth it to start using some of these buys. Because pretty much I think he can either finish the game on this next turn, or I should be in very good circumstances to end the game on my next turn, so I think it's worth it. I did get a Menagerie here, so that's nice that I'll be able to use that in response to the Goons. Okay, it doesn't look like... Okay, he's got a Governor there. I really gotta hope he doesn't run into a chain of governors. Alright, so he can't draw any more cards. He's got 10 to spend. Okay, so I have a pretty good hand here. I don't really want to discard a lot of these cards, but I definitely have to. So definitely get rid of those. The Workers' Village is not crucial. Again, I think it's the Grand Market that's got to go. So I can use the Menagerie and Governor to draw, and then hopefully hit a decent amount. Given the way the game has been moved along, I'm definitely feeling the Grand Market foray by me was a bit of a mistake. I haven't really been able to use them to much effect. I've been discarding them in order to hold on to Menageries, which is a strong sign that his move to purchase a bunch of Menageries looks a little stronger than my move to mill in those. So he goes for duchies, which is, I think, makes a lot of sense. He's currently ahead by 2. I got rather lucky to be able to hit my Menagerie right there. I want to play the inn in order to... I can't quite do it. Well, I can discard a tunnel and give myself a gold. That's a bit of an unexpected result there. My goal in playing that inn was to get rid of the excess cards to make my Menagerie function as a super lab. Obviously didn't quite happen. I've got 13 to spend. He's up by 2. I think they could just counter those duchy purchases. And grab that last Menagerie. That'll put me back ahead by 7. Our decks are getting increasingly clogged here, so these monster hands are getting less and less probable. Still do have to worry about him being able to just clear out those last 2 provinces. It's totally reasonable to think that might happen. Okay, I have a gold here, which I really wish I could hold on to, but I think I need to get rid of. I want to certainly think about trashing the Grand Market into a province, if there's any way to make that happen. We're tied right now. That could definitely have gone better for me. I was not able to hit Goons to reduce his hand size, which is certainly unfortunate. I have 3 buys here. I think I might go for 2 tunnels and the copper, which will give me 7, put me back up by 7 points. I definitely want to think a little bit at this point about getting an inn, just to grab all of that stuff that I discarded these last 2 hands. All of this could go back in to my deck. that might be the way to go here. That'll give me a very good chance to finish the game on the next turn. There's certainly a chance that he could grab the last 3 duchies, though. That's really scary. But there's not really anything I can do about that. If his next hand is going to be able to do that, he will win no matter what. So I think we do this. Don't want those ins. And it probably won't hurt. That's huge. That is really huge. I'm in very good shape. We're currently tied. I want to definitely think about if there's any way to end the game on this turn. I want to play. I even have a double Goons. Okay, I'm gonna play the Workers' Village. Play a Goons. Give myself the possible chance to use this Menagerie again. As I said, I want to think about being able to remodel that Grand Market into a province, because I think I'll be able to buy myself the next province. Okay, use the inn, maybe get myself a situation where the Menagerie can draw well again, which it can. Use a governor to grab that province. All right. And that will do it. It's quite an epic slog to get through this. Only 17 turns, which is in fact pretty normal to finish things up, but quite a roundabout way of actually getting there.